Alright, hello. I'm just going to do a couple. Sorry, it's been. Actually, apologies first. It's been a little while since I've done a video. I've been just super busy. Haven't had time. But we've got an interesting day coming up, the 29th of June. And I thought it would be a good one. I mean, if we're looking at balance, that is a day that is very, very interesting in terms of, a reset and balance. Um, Being brought back into the system, I guess. The first thing I want to say is this time of year, the June time of year around summer solstice, is a very interesting time of year again for balance, because we're at the, if you looked at the calendar, or if you looked at the sky clock, we're at the 12 o'clock hour right now. We're at, you know, we've actually passed the 12 o'clock hour. That would have been around the 20, 21st, 22nd, round in there with the summer solstice. And of course, we had Father's Day on the 20th of June, which, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about rebirth and balancing the system. We're talking about coming back in line with what the Father stands for, which is God. What does God stand for? God stands for balance, right? So that's what we're talking about, is coming back into alignment, back into balance. And for one to be balanced, one must be independent of other men's rules and other men's, not to be dependent on somebody else. If you want to be free, then you can't be free if you're dependent on somebody else. Yeah, right? If you're still on the tit, you're not. Sorry to be coarse about it, but if you're still nursing, if you've not been weaned yet, then you're not dependent. I mean, you're not independent, right? So you're still dependent. And so this is what we're talking about. This whole time of year, with Independence Day coming up as well, we're talking about rebalance, right? That's what we're talking about. Coming out of the system, coming out of the matrix, right? So, and of course, weaning, yeah, certain times of our life, we deal with weaning, like the age of 13, becoming a teenager, right? Um, the age of 16 is another coming of age year, sweet 16. Then we've got 18. That's another age bracket that we celebrate. Becoming more independent. And then 21 is another one of these ages where we become more independent. So all these different numbers that are popping up that we're seeing are all to do with becoming independent, becoming men and women, that are not controlled anymore. Right. Okay, where am I going with this? This bike incident that happened the other day. This happened on June the 19th. Was in Sholo, not Han Show, not Han Show. Sounds a bit like Han Solo, doesn't it? Han Solo. This happened in Sholo, Arizona, and of course, this spiked my interest straight away, just because of the date that it happened on. So the June 19th. This is the day before Father's Day, the eve again. Also, they've made this into a holiday now, to do with independence and slavery, and independence from being a slave. And this is what we are. This is why this whole slave thing crops up in the reality. For the uninitiated, the system throws that out there to wind people up. For the people that can see past that, you realize, yes, what's being said here is, the metaphor is, we're all slaves to the system, and it's all about coming out of that system, coming out of slavery, right? That's why this is thrown up, I'd say by the system. It's thrown up by the system, yeah, but there's two sides to the system, yeah. There's the lie and there's the truth. And that's what you have to distinguish between. Right? If you get caught up with the lie, you go down that endless rabbit hole. There's nothing wrong with going down a rabbit hole. It can be interesting. It can be entertaining. You know, I mean, I look at the rabbit hole a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. It's nice to sit and do the jigsaw puzzle, you know, and get a clearer picture. You know, get the full picture at the end of it all. You know, um, sometimes it can detract. Sometimes it can be, you know, if you don't see the bigger picture at the end of it, if you you know, if you don't get to that bigger picture, then doing the jigsaw puzzle, going down the rabbit hole, can be a waste of time. You know, it depends on the way you look at it. But anyway, because there's, you know, there's certain channels like Matt at Quantum Conscience that, you know, is like, you know, we shouldn't be following these endless rabbit holes. Well, yes and no. I mean, you have to do a certain amount of this stuff in order to, I don't know, to get to that level of awareness. Maybe. I mean, if you're lucky, you don't. But if you're unlucky, maybe you have to do more of that kind of digging to come to that level of awareness. But anyway, getting back to this June 19th thing. So you got the yin and the yang, yeah, and the one is us at the middle. It's the hole that we're coming out of. The 6 and the 9, which is the same thing. The number of man, the number of the, you know, of material reality as well, you know, to a certain extent, because we have that 16, the sweet 16 of phi, which is Mother Nature, yeah, that 1.618, etc., etc., etc. of that number. So I don't want to waffle on too much because I'm already sidetracked. But this Juneteenth that they've made a holiday, this will become relevant here in a little bit because I'm going to show you some numbers, and let me show you them now, and then we'll come back to them. I got them up on a paint thing, right? Because if we have the, let me just write the Juneteenth in. So 6, 1. Gosh, it takes forever to write this in with this. 9, yeah. And so there's your yin and yang. Can I do a yin and yang? You know, here's the 1 at the center of it all, as David Bowie would say, as I've said before. And here's your, oh my gosh, this is not going to work out very good. I've done it the wrong way around anyway. But anyway, something like this. So this little hole right here, imagine this as being just a spiral inwards, yeah. So that center point, the 1 at the center of it all. This is not making much sense, but that spiral is a 6 or a 9, you know, depending on which way around you want to go. And so this number is pretty important, right? This 619. And we just happen to be, this just happens to be on the, you know, right around summer solstice, right? So when the sun is the highest in the sky. So it's just spiraled up to the top, and now it's going to spiral back down. Yeah, that's what the sun's going to do. This date is coming up, and this is going to become 629 is another one of these special balance dates, I think. And we can write that differently. We can put a double 1 at the center of it, right? And the reason why we'd write that 2 as a double 1 is when I get onto this later, and I've said this before in other videos, but this 2 is actually referencing an 11, right? When we look at this other chart I'm going to show you in a second. So it doesn't hurt to write this as this double 1, yeah? And this is the twins right here, right? This is one side of reality and the other side of reality. The physical side of reality, the true side of reality, and then the metaphysical side of reality, the lie that we're trapped in, right? I'm not saying that everything metaphysical is a lie, but what I'm saying is we're caught up in a man-made lie right now, right? And that's this reflected number 1, the man in the mirror, the fictional person that we've all assumed that identity, yeah, the birth certificate person. That's what's controlling us right now in the present system that we're in. Anyway, getting oh, the other thing, I just want to let me just reference this real quick. If you take this, let's just change it into words. You've got a B I G, yeah. That's interesting as well. That Tom Hanks film, Big, yeah, coming of age again, him turning into a man, his wishes being granted by the genie, you know, Zoldar, what the hell the name of the thing was. And that film came out in 85 as well, 85, a balance year. So, interesting stuff. But anyway, let's whiz back to, because I'm getting sidetracked already. Where the hell's bloody cursor gone? There we go. I'm getting way too sidetracked and this will be way too long. I don't really want to talk too much. This bike race, I'm going to tell you why this is important. Okay, so it happened on that day, but the bicycle, if we look at the bicycle, do I need to go back and actually draw a picture of a bike so you know what I mean? But if we draw a bicycle, right, we've got an 8. There's the 2 wheels, right? And if you look at a bike, what you have on a bike is this bloody thing as well. There's your bike, yeah? Actually, that's not a very good bike, but what you usually have is actually, let me draw it again so you can actually see it. So there's that 8, right? There's one wheel, there's the other wheel, so there's your 8, right? And then you have this deal coming up here, right? There's your handlebars right here. So there's your T. There's the cross of man, the crucifix, or whatever you want to call it, but that's the cross of Christ, right? And then right in here, we also have, it's usually shaped like, I'm going to draw this bloody right, but it usually looks like this, right? And then your saddle sits up on here. Sorry, this is completely rubbish, but anyway. And then your pedals are down here, right? Well, what you've got is you've got you've got these 2 circles. So you've got the 8, and you've also got 2 arrows, right? An opposite arrow, or an opposite delta. What's the delta version of the Wu Flu that's come out now? But you have this delta, yeah? And that's the fertile plain, you know. The delta is the woman, right? And the arrow of man, the A of Adam, right? And the V of Eve. So the bike is quite a good symbol for, I don't know, there's just a lot of symbolism in a bike, you know. The duality of nature, you know, the reality again. But anyway, so with that being said, let's get back onto this bloody, because this is what this guy ran over, right? This guy here, and his name was, it's a 58-mile race, right? So you've got the balance number there, 85, 58. Sean Michael Chalk. I don't know if that's a reference to Chalks Away or the clock ticking down. Chalk, the chalk outline around the man, the dead body. 35, yeah, the 35 being a reference, I think, to the Hoover Dam, the year that it was finished. And that goes along with 36 as well. They did a dedication in 36 as well, but or officially opened it in 36, but it's finished in 35. Sean, I don't really know. Sean, removing the fleece, the fleece, you know, the outer garment. I don't know. I don't know what you want to Sean, Sean Connery. You know, you can come up with all kinds of different Seans. Michael Jackson. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but you know, some interesting references. And of course, Michael Jackson was the 29th of. He was born on the 29th of August, I think. So you know, got some, you know, just surface references. We got the black and the silver. Yeah, the black and the silver of the moon right here. This is why this truck is this colored. And we want to go to the picture of the front. You know, you just can't write this stuff. The chances of that wheel being stuck on the front grille like that, yeah? I mean, really? Okay, so we've got a reference to a clock here. Look at the hands here. We got, this is pointing down roughly to the 6. This is up to the 10 or 11. I'm edging towards the 11. So we've got a 611 right here. Or of course the you can flip that up the other way for the legs 11 event, right? But this is going to become important when I talk about this here in a second, the 611. So what else we got on here? This looks like an oak leaf. I don't know what to say about that. Who hides in the, that's the king of trees, yeah? Who hides in the oak tree? Which was it? Charles? Can't remember which Charles it was, but anyway, one of them Charleses hid in the oak tree, yeah, while he was being chased down by what would be the government, yeah. So you got the sovereign being chased down by what would be I guess it'd be the Roundheads, I don't know. Anyway, interesting, that just happened to be. It just looks like an oak leaf to me in there. This looks cobbled together. But anyway, what else to say about this? I'm gonna flip on to something now. There's a bunch of other stuff in here that's interesting. People that they talk to, and you could pick this apart for hours. But what this draws me back to is a video that I did quite a while ago on Lady Gaga and her 911 short film, yeah, on her video, right? So it starts off right, and it all revolves around. I don't know if you can make this out. I don't really want to click on it because I know I'll get a strike on this. But if you can make that out, she's come off her bike. She's been in a bike crash, and I'm like, is this? I'm like, this is ridiculous, right? And in that short film is what they call it. In this music video, there was two references that I picked out, right? And it was the teapot, the word teapot and igloo, right? And there's some interesting numbers with it. 77, 85, there's the 50, and they were reversed as well. So we got the pi number in here, 31, balanced numbers, and we got the 77, right? Luck, the jackpot number, right? Now, I don't know really where I want to go with this. If I go to this real quick, right? What did I want to say about this? Hang on a minute. Go back to this a minute, because I've lost my train of thought here for a second. But so these were heavily referenced in that video, right? And so we have this cycle crash, right? And at the end of the video as well, we get to see several little bits and bobs. Oh gosh, it's probably going to take a second for this thing to load because I don't have it properly loaded. But we're going to see some stuff that happens to gosh, this computer's going so slow right now. Just too much on it running. I don't think I would be able to get to it. I'll get onto that in a minute. We probably have some pictures in here actually. Let's just go through these. We had this dude. Now this is all bloody blank as well, because I haven't clicked through it. Okay, so we have this image here with the fire trucks, and of course first responders. They're going to be at near enough any kind of incident, right? And what else did we have? A couple of other interesting things, and I'll talk about here in a minute. Don't want to get onto that, Dan. Come on, you're not following where you need to go, right? This will not load for some flipping stupid reason. I bet if I press play it would. Okay, and I covered all the events that are in here. But the piece that I wanted is at the end. Well, anyway, at the end we have the accident scene, and there's the first responders, the fire trucks there, and all the rest of it. The other thing I just wanted to make a note of is at the start of this guy here on the black horse, he is dressed in black and silver, right? Similar to, this is a reference to the moon, to the fictional system, but similar to the I think that was an F-150, that Ford, the black and silver of the Ford. So what I want to reference here is where they're at right now. I think we've established in my previous video that this is White Sands, Arizona, right? Is the area, right? Not Arizona, New Mexico. And so if we just take a quick look at the map, right? Because Phoenix is the place, you know, where we're going to rise from, right? White Sands, right? You know, that's what's on the moon, yeah? White sand, yeah? White sand is the corona, is the beach again. I talked about the beach being a reference to, you know, it's the separation, it's that thin line, the crown of thorns between the land and the sea, yeah? So White Sands is where we're all at. This is why in when Jack Sparrow is in limbo, he's in at the same as Lady Gaga in that video, being reborn, yeah? She's brought back to life using electricity, using the two paddles, yeah? This is the White Sands, yeah? This is where she is right now. This is limbo right here, right? And so if we look at the map, without going in too far, right? What's interesting about it, if you bear in mind that 77, what's interesting is, that's where I was going to go with this. Here's Sholo up here. Can you see where my cursor is? I don't really want to zoom in too much. Let's zoom in one click and see if what happens. Okay, so White Sands is still over here, yeah? If we can see it. There's White. This is it's a missile range as well, you know. We're on the rocket. Now let's look at this road, because this is 60 highway, right? That comes up through Sholo, right? And if we look at where the accident took place, it takes place, I don't know exactly where, but it takes place on this Deuce of Clubs Avenue, yeah? So the two of clubs, you know, that's an interest. We could get into that. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the two of clubs is like a 33, right? Because a club is, if you look at a club, right, it's a 3. Yeah, it's a shamrock. It's the 3. The 3-3, right? So this whole thing takes place on the Deuce of Clubs, right? So it's a 33 reference right there, that road. And so this road, 60 highway, happens, this 77, if we look at the 77, it comes through, and in fact, if I gotta go back to this other map, but trust me when I say 77, the 60 highway comes through, right? And it comes through Sholo, and at some point round here, God, I have to, hang on, let me zoom in one more time. You'll see that 70, oh, I wish it'd come up on that, but it hasn't come up. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around here. The 77 actually becomes 60 highway. So this is kind of, I think, when I was looking at the map earlier, this 77 highway is 60 highway as well, right through here where it comes up to Sholo, and then it splits off again, right? So this 60 is 77, right? This is a bit long-winded and a little bit, you know, well, I don't know what you really want to say, but what I want you to do is remember that 60 is important, right? 60 is to do with, this is the age that Diana would be this year, right? She would be 60 if she was still alive. I'm talking about Princess Diana right now. So this would also be the Diamond Jubilee, right? Yeah. So the Jubilee would be, normally would be a Golden Jubilee, which would be 50. And so we're right at 60, right? Which is the Diamond Jubilee. So you could look at that as, you know, also the number of man, yeah? And the number of man, you could either look at it as the controlled man. I would look at it as the man that is at that balance point, yeah, with the diamond, yeah, because that's where you have to get to, yeah. You have to be balanced with that diamond. You know, that diamond, you don't want to be inside the diamond, inside the square. You want to be, well, you can be inside it, but you just want to be balanced with it, right? You want to understand what that is, what that means, what fiction means, you know, what the lie is. So anyway, I'm waffling. But this 60 is important, and so what we've got is a reference to this 60 being 77 in terms of this highway, the 33, the 2 of clubs highway right here. And this highway connects, this 60 highway connects the risen sun, the phoenix, yeah, rising from the sun, the Phoenicians. You have to say the balanced merchant. Anyway, if you follow 60 highway, there's Sholo again, right? And we follow it through. Oh my, and we happen to go through Pie Town right there. I mean, you just can't write this stuff. If you was watching my last video about the pie. The pie is the Hoover Dam. It is the dam, the dome, the thing that we're trapped in. If we take 60 highway, we come all the way up to here. And where is the top of here? Here we go. And who played, was it Antonio, whatever his name was, that played Zorro? Just thinking about that character there in the Lady Gaga thing. San Antonio. Interesting again. But here we are, White Sands, the missile place. The place where man has to launch from, yeah? The missile has to launch out of there. Has to follow 60, yeah? Route 60. Han Solo, through to be re-risen, yeah? From the flames, yeah? This is what the, you know, you have to burn stuff down. Stuff is burnt down with fire, and from that you have the regrowth. The forest regrows, right? This is why we have all the forest fires, right? So it's reality talking to you in metaphors. Unfortunately, if we get caught up in the lie, and then we get trapped by fear, yeah, when we get caught up in that lie of the fear of the things that are happening. Anyway, so I thought this whole cycle incident, I've probably missed some stuff out on it. I thought this was interesting. You could pick that thing apart for quite some time. The other interesting event that's just happened, right, was the Miami building collapse, yeah? And this has got numbers all over it, right? But I'm going to show you something. I don't think anybody else has probably talked about this. And I'm going to show you, there's a reason why we've got this on a camera at this angle, collapsing, right? And the collapse is, I don't know what to say about the collapse itself. If you look at it, it doesn't look like it should collapse the way it collapses. But there's a reason why it's collapsing this way. We don't have to get into the where and why, you know, and, you know, they'll blame this on a sinkhole, I'm sure. But what we need to look at is what is the metaphor here, what is being told by this picture, by this image, right? I don't know if this is the best image to look at for this. They're all pretty much the same. It's the same camera angle. But this thing here, right, this immediately shouts to me. This building that's in the foreground immediately shouts. There's 3 or 4 things actually. We've got swimming pools here. Yeah, so we've got this water right at the base of this building, right? That's the first thing to note, right? Calm water down here, right? What we also have is we have this building here, which is kind of reminiscent, if I've got a picture of, yeah, this is what I'm going to show you. This reminds me of this thing, electrical insulator, right? And this thing is right there at the Hoover Dam, right? This is why I bring this up, right? This is the thing that carries the high tension lines, right? The wire that connects everything together. So what we have that reference there, at least that's what I see, right? And we have this water reference here with the swimming pools, right? I'm going to click through this, play it very slowly. I want to watch how this starts collapsing, right? This almost turns to rubble straight away at the top, right? Not at all like you'd expect a building to collapse, if you know what I mean. But if we watch it come down, there was a 7 in there, And if we just look at the way this is now, if I were to say to you now, imagine water flowing over a dam or a dam collapsing. Watch this. Yeah? Watch how this is flowing out of there. Look at this. This is almost like this has been CGI'd to make that look like a big flow of water, yeah? A big wave. Where the hell does this thing happen? Surfside, yeah? This huge wave coming out from between those two sides of the thing, and then they flip. They've edited this, and then the other side falls down, and this side falls down much more like you'd expect that building to have fallen down. Yeah. So anyway, a couple of interesting things as well with this. They interview a guy. I don't know if he's in this clip. I hope he's in this clip. Yeah, here he is. This guy pops up in several interviews to do with this story. And this is, oh come on, this bloody computer's driving me nuts. Anyway, this guy, I don't know if you can see him on the thumbnail there, or whatever that thing is, but that guy there, I can't flip my thing over him. He shows up in several. He's one of the first people supposedly on the scene, right? And he is in every interview I see him in, he's wearing black and white, or kind of a grey color, very reminiscent again of the F-150. And of course, we're talking about the moon again. Yeah, we're talking about the Black Pearl. Yeah, and of course, where else better to reference the Black Pearl than Miami? Yeah, and it's the place. It's the place you go to die, right? So of course, from death comes rebirth. Yeah, it's where all the old people go to die, and that place is, well, sinkholes everywhere. It's sinking into the sea. It's being absorbed by the sea. Yeah, the fiction, the sea. So anyway, it's not going to show this guy. It's not going to flip onto it. I don't know what's wrong with the computer. It's just so slow. Anyway, this guy shows up. Big guy. Shows up in several of these interviews. That was interesting. And there was a ton of other interesting numbers. Like there was 136 units, 55. 55 of all numbers is what fell down. But you can see where I was going with that. Yeah, that looks so much like. Actually, well, here's the guy here. Let's see if we can get. Here we are. Here he is. And we can, just do it. Is a 118 in the Gematrinator. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Stairway to Heaven and I don't know. We can go through it all. Tons of stuff to look at. But I think the bigger thing is the fact that this is caught on camera. Oh, they've got some top pictures down. And in fact, I've got the map up somewhere here. Oh, come on. And, oh, yeah, I'll talk about that here in a second. Hang on. Bloomin' Nora. I don't want to. Here it is, Surfside. So yeah, look at Indian Creek, Indiana, Normandy, No Man's Land, Surfside. Which side are you on? Are you on the surf side in the sea, or are you on the land? Champlain. Location 8777. So we've got the jackpot again, and the number of man. Jack in the jackpot. Jack in a box, out of the box. Yeah, Jack out of the box. Oh dear. We got the 13, the 31, the pi number right there. Again, coming of age date as well. Your teens, becoming a teenager. I mean, the champagne. What do we talk about? The champagne. I've talked about the Dom before. Dom, the dam or the dome. The Dom Perignon. Yeah, Perry. Water or the pear. The pear is the counterpart to the apple. The pear is the pear shape of the woman. This is, I mean, you can just pull apart this stuff. This is the dam right here. The shield is the dam. Yeah, is the top of the dam. Here's the two sides that come down the canyon, side walls, and here's the bottom where the water flows out. Yeah, here's the black star right here. Yeah, David Bowie, Black Star, right at the bottom of the dam. The thing inside the shield. Yeah, Dom Perignon's, there's a reason why it's so heavily referenced. What else to say about it? If we start looking at dates now, because the 24th, there's something interesting about the 24th, and the 24th of June, have I got it up here? I don't want to go on to Juneteenth. The 24th of June, no. I got to think where I'm going with it. Where was I going with the 16th of February, Dan? I can't remember now. Bloody hell, this is the problem with not putting notes down. Oh, that was my, the other thing that stood out heavily with this thing falling down was they kept calling it a pancake collapse. Pancake. They kept on about it. Nobody can mention 9/11 in it, because they were all afraid of saying something. But they kept mentioning this pancake thing, right? And so the 16th of February, right, this year is, or was, Shrove Tuesday, which is Pancake Day, right? So immediately with this pancake reference, I'm thinking, they keep going about it. I'm just thinking Shrove Tuesday. And if we look at Shrove Tuesday, we're 47 days, including that day, yeah, because next day is the start of Lent, right? And that's 46 days up to, the resurrection, to Easter Sunday. So we're going, so there's this 47 reference, right? So where am I going with this 47 reference? So we've gone from pancake, yeah, the building pancaking, this pancake collapse. So we've gone from that to Shrove Tuesday, and then we go 47 days, and we get up to the resurrection again, yeah? And so what's interesting is, if we go to this little thing, this little table here, and so if you have to go back and look at my other videos on this table. This is just a chart that I did, and you're going to have to, you'll have to go back. If you don't, I'm going to talk about this chart now. I haven't got time to explain it, but here's your two balance numbers, 11 and 18, right? The metaphysical and the physical, right? So what we've got going on here is this reference again. Here's the 4-7, yeah? This is this reference we go 47 days from Shrove Tuesday. And what Shrove Tuesday is using up all that stuff that's given to you by the system, yeah? All the, the flour and the eggs and all that good stuff to make the pancakes, yeah? The idea was to use all that stuff up before you went into Lent, right? So this 47 days here is a reference, this pancake reference is a reference to, again, to the rebirth of Christ, to the rebirth of man, yeah? To be coming back into balance, like, Jesus was a balanced individual, right? So that's the metaphor there, becoming balanced again. And so I can segue back into this 29 number here again, okay? You'll have to go back and look at some of my other stuff, but this is the 29th of June here, because we were looking at these I was looking at these balance numbers before, and this 1423 to me is a reference to 523, which is Whitsun, which is Pentecost, which is coming back into balance with the spiritual side of reality, yeah, the Holy Spirit coming back to man, yeah. And so the Holy Spirit he's the real deal, yeah, or I can say that is the real deal, as opposed to the con job that we're under right now, which is the man-made illusion and the man-made lie, right? So this is a reference to, again, being, coming back into balance, being reborn again, right? And that's what being reborn means, to come back into balance. with the system. When you're first born, you are in balance with the system. Immediately at birth, we are drug from balance and we're placed into this artificial man-made nonsense, right? And so this is what we're talking about, coming back into balance. And so this number again with the 60 here is very important, and this 37, right? Because what we're doing is we're going 37 days from this date, from 5/23, and that takes us to the 29th of June. If we backtrack from the 29th of June back to here, back to the 11th, we go back 18 days. So we're backtracking to the 11th of June. This is 6/11, yeah? This is probably the real reference to 9/11, right? Because if we go from this 29th date, yeah, which is the 29th of June, which I showed you in my little scribbly stuff earlier, this 29 day again, if we go 74 days, if we just reverse this now, if we go 74 days on, it takes us up to 9/11. It takes up to September the 11th, right? So this day here, using the 18 and the 47 or the 74, whichever way around you want to do it, super interesting because it takes you to a 9/11 each way, a 6/11 or a 9/11, right? So methinks right now that the real reference to 9/11 is 6/11. That's, you know, it was, you know, the same deal, you know, except instead of going back 18 days from this balance point, you know, the reason why 29 is still a balance point is because this is amalgamated these two numbers, and it's done it very well because the 2 is the sum of the 11, and the 9 is the sum of the 1 and the 8, right? But if you also, because of the way the Fibonacci sequence works, and you know, this adding the previous number, if you take the sum of both of these numbers now, 11 and 18, you get to 29. So individually, the 2 and the 9 individually are referencing these two numbers and the sum together of these two numbers. So it's a very nice balanced number, 29. Anyway, what we have here is 629, yeah? And so I did that scribble earlier. Yeah, here's your 629. Wish my thing was a bit bigger. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I can make it a bit bigger. So, no, I can't. Just so you can see it a bit better. Here we go. So this is 629. Well, if you, like I was saying, you could write this slightly differently, and you get this yin and yang, and this is the double lips, yeah? If you remember my Dua Lipa and all that other stuff from before, this is the place that we're born from between, yeah, the two lips. We're born from between here, yeah, the double one. Anyway, I'm sure this video is way too long now. I'll tell you one other interesting thing. Where's my 81 days? Here it is. If I go from, so we go the 47 days, yeah, up to what would be what am I thinking? Easter Sunday, right? So you go Shrove Tuesday, Easter Sunday, 47 days, and then if you go from 81 days from the 4th of April, so from 4/4 again, from Easter Sunday, which is the 4th of April, if you go 81 days now, it brings you up to the 24th of June, the very same day that the building collapses, the Miami building collapses. So that is pretty interesting, because if we look at the chart again, my wonderful chart, we did this 47-day jump, and if we do an 81-day jump, yeah, all these things are back referencing it. You know, all these things are referencing into, you know, biblical dates. And this is what we're seeing. You know, this is what we're seeing. This is maybe what we're going to see is the Exodus. Yeah, you know, where's the pyramid at? It's in Vegas. It's the Luxor, and potentially, if water was cut off to Vegas and power was cut off to Vegas, we would see a mass exodus. You know, and I've talked about, you know, that whole storyline and Psalms 23 and all the rest of it, and the Valley of the Shadow of Death and all this stuff. You know, this thing of coming out of the desert, you know, and you know, exiting, you know, Egypt, yeah, and going into the wilderness, yeah, going back into the wild, going back into nature. You know, is it a story we're going to see play out? Maybe. Who knows? Who knows anymore? It's crazy, absolutely crazy. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about that. I'm trying to think what else I've missed out of here. There's just some interesting jumping around bits with the numbers here. This 60. If we go to if we go to the actual days on the calendar, that's 6. March, June. So if we go from June the 29th, right? Let me get it up a bit. There's June the 29th. We've got, depending on how you want to count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, right? But, like, biblically speaking, like Pentecost and what was the other thing I was thinking about? Actually, the 3 days of the resurrection. We should be counting the day of as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. There's that number of man from between this date 629, which is a nice balanced day, 180 days, which of a perfect circle, that's half of a perfect circle, yeah. The 18, it's also the number of man. The 118 is, yeah, the halfway point, the midpoint. And the 185, we've got the 85 or the 58 balance number in here as well. So it's all, you know, very interesting. And that day, yeah, this Independence Day, which 619 previously referenced an Independence Day again out of slavery. We now have 629, and this day here is the twin of this day right here, Independence Day. Yeah, 7-4, the 4-7 again. You could go around in circles, and we're 6 days between those dates, so it's super interesting. I don't know what else I've missed out of here. Yeah, Diana would be Princess Diana, born 1961. There's that 61 again. Yeah, for the matter. I did have something on the 31st of August, the 318. I can't remember what it was now, but anyway, somebody will figure it out. There was a reference to that day somewhat I was going to talk about. Can't remember what it was now. Anyway, she would be 60 this year. Yeah, so many references to her in what's been going on. There's Shrove Tuesday, Surfside. I don't know if there's anything. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. White Sands and Whitsan. White Sand and Whitsun. I mean, the coincidences just with the phonetics of certain words is crazy. Like, you know, like the Sholo and Han Solo. You know, I mean, it winds you up. It winds me up anyway. I don't know what else to say. I think I've pretty much covered everything. I'm trying to think if there was anything else with this building. No, I just want to, you know, I mean, let me just go back over this collapse again. Just watch it one more time. You know, I had a better picture of it up, actually. Maybe it was this one. Well, maybe it's not a better picture. But anyway, here's that electrical conductor here. Here's the water at the base of it, yeah? In fact, this even looks like one leg of the dam, yeah? Those 2 little legs that come off. And you know, just look at the way this thing collapses. Just look at that, the way that it's not a, I go call it like a pyroclastic flow. You know, it's that. Look at the way that's coming down there, though. You know, it does look like water coming over the top of a dam collapse is exactly what it looks like to me anyway, but maybe I'm reaching too much as per usual. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. I guess you've got to surf the wave, and in fact that's a film that I probably need to look into, is that Escape from Los Angeles. Yeah, Escape from LA. I was just watching it's Pockets of Truth, I think I was watching, and he was talking about it, and that he had a clip in there, and old Kurt Russell was surfing on a wave. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird the way these things pop up into the reality. Yeah. Are there people behind this doing this for whatever reasons? Maybe. Is it just the way reality works? Is it all a script that's already been written? Most probably, to a certain extent. I mean, but you've got to remember who's writing the script. Yeah, you're experiencing what you're writing right now, if that makes sense. What that's a hint to is it's a hint to consciousness as a whole, of us creating that. You know, there is a destiny there, but a destiny that's, you know, it's already been rewritten. It's already been written, but who's doing the writing? And it's you and I that are doing the writing. Yeah, in that other form of consciousness. Yeah, in the totality of consciousness. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. That's what I'm seeing there. I'm seeing a huge reference to the Hoover Dam again. The Hoover Dam coming down. So anyway, the Dade County, yeah, the dad, yeah. I mean, you know, oh dear. CSI Miami, CSI Vegas, Statue of Liberty, something going to happen there. You know, I don't know. And yeah, who else? You know, I mean, the references go around and round in circles. They stuck old what's his name from Cheers in there, didn't they? And that's just, you know, it just references back to Seattle. You know, Frasier, and you know, I could go around in circles all day long talking about this stuff. But anyway, I think that's got to be it. Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, I'll catch you on the next video. Hopefully, keep your eyes peeled for the 29th. I think that could be an interesting day. Does the dam blow up on that day? I don't know. Who knows? But it definitely should be an interesting. Maybe something interesting happens. You know, there's definitely been some interesting stuff happen these last few weeks. That's for sure. So anyway, all right. Cheers. Bye.